What's going on, everybody? Zane here, back with another video. For this one, we're going to go over question number 14 on Leet code called longest common prefix. So we're basically given a whole bunch of words, and we are tasked to find what the string is that has the longest common prefix, which means if we were to go through every single word and we go to the first character, looks like all of them have F. Then we're like, okay, we add F to our string or our answer, and then we go through the next letter of every single one. Looks like L is also in all of them, so we put F and then L. But then we go to the third character and we see that it's FLO, FLO, and then FLI, meaning that is not the common prefix anymore, so we just go back to our FL and we'll return that as our answer. So that would be the longest common prefix. In a situation like this, it looks like none of them actually have a common prefix. They don't all start with D in this case, so there's nothing to really check. Anyway, so let's take a look at the code here. We're going to be passed in a string array called strings or strs, and our task is to return some string, which would be the longest common prefix. So right off the bat, I'm just going to create a string variable I'll just call this our answer, initialize it to some blank string. Now we need to be checking every single character, right? So we are given a list of words, but inside of each of those words, we need to also go inside of each of those characters. So to get through every single character, we'll do a for each on the character. So for every character C inside of strings, let's just say that, for example, we can't actually go through this right now as is, because this is an array of strings. We need to not only get the first word by doing @0, but we need to also convert it to a char array, because now that we've taken the first word and now that we've converted it to a char array, now we can actually go through every single character of that first word. So now technically we're going through that first word, and now we can say, okay, we're at our first word. Now let's go through the rest of the words. So we'll have to do another for loop. So since we're starting with the first word already, we don't need to start off with int equals 0. So we'll say int I equals 1, since we already accounted for our first word up here. We'll say int I equals 1. I is less than just the regular length of the strings, I++. Now we're going through the rest of those words. Now we can do a check we can either do it one or two ways. We can either do, hey, let's check to see if the words or the characters of that word match up to our the character that we're at here, C, or if it does, all right, great, add it to your answer. Otherwise, we'll just return the answer as blank. Or you can go the backdoor way, where you could say, hey, we just did a check. If C, or the char, does not equal whatever element that we're at now, well, then we'll just return the empty string. Otherwise, we'll add it to our answer. So just to kind of switch it up here, I'm going to do the backdoor route. And maybe backdoor is not the right word. Backdoor probably is something way more cooler with someone that's more advanced. But anyway, I'm going to call it the backdoor one, so let's do that. So we're looping through every character, and then we're going through the rest of the words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a check. I'm going to say that if the character that we're at does not equal the character of that word, so we're doing C does not equal, and then we need to do strings at the word that we're at, and then we need to check the character at a particular index. So again, this is the word, and then we're trying to find the actual character at that word's index. Now I can't actually do char at I. The reason for that is because we get some kind of dereferencing error. So you might encounter this and you might see the dereference issue, but there's a way we can kind of go around that. We can establish some random index variable and we'll initialize that to 0. And we'll set that to just that value. And then we can say, instead of it being char at I, we can just say char at the index. And that's technically the first letter in this iteration. So now if the character that we're at does not equal this word's first character, then we can just return our answer, because it's going to be a blank one at this point. Otherwise, we jump out of this for loop, so down to this one, and we'll say, okay, great. So it does match because this didn't get triggered. So we'll say answer, just add the character to it, and then we increment our index. Whoa. And then lastly, of course, we just return our answer. So let's try that. Okay, so this is accepted. Let's do a run here. As you can see, I've tried it a bunch of times, but had some issues. So string out of index. So it looks like there is a need for a check here. So we're basically going to continuously increment our index. So maybe what we could do is, actually, we can just add it in the same for loop, or if. We can say that if the index, if the index is either greater than or equal to the length of our string, or the character doesn't match, then you can do it. And we're actually looking at the words, so we need to do, again, strings is the array, so we're always looking at the word. So we need to do strings at I, and then this needs to be, we'll just add a check there. And that's it. So just to recap real quick, we're going through every character of the first word. Then we go to the rest of the words and we check to see, okay, is the index inbounds? Great. Otherwise, is the character inside of the first word at that character index? If it is not, return the answer. If it's out of bounds, return the answer. Otherwise, add it to our answer and then index ++, because we want to keep going up by 1. And then lastly, return your answer. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for this one. I'm not sure if I made this clear, but if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that like and subscribe button, show me some love, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.